back in business.
Should be good now. Just hearing ourselves double times. All right. So maybe we have some viewers from Japan today. In that case, konnichiwa. But we'll be doing this stream mostly in English today. Although if you guys have questions in Japanese, you can just put them in the chat, and we will try to take them as best we can. And of course, this game is complete Japanese support as well in the game. So that's there in case you need it. So today what we're going to do is we are going to take a little drive through our game Hexagroove Tactical DJ, which has just launched last week for Steam. This is a game which we built between our two studios, both here in Stockholm and also with our friends in Japan. It's made with over 9 musicians from all around the world. We've got musicians from Japan and the Netherlands and Sweden, and as well as Switzerland. And this is a game where you play as a DJ. So your goal in this game is to create music in real time. So you're going to go to a club and you're going to stitch together little blocks of music called loops that are bound to different instruments. Some are for the drum, some are for a melody or a bass. And the rules in which you put these together is how you do the grading in the game. But all the music in the game is made entirely by you. We launched initially on Nintendo Switch in 2019 in October. So we just celebrated our first anniversary with Hexagroove. And what we're doing now with this game is, after bringing it to Xbox, we just launched on Steam last week. And we're very excited now to let PC people from all around the world be able to play the game. So, this game is very novel in the kind of things that you do. So what we'll do is we'll start out with something very simple, and I'll walk you through the basic way that you play the game. So, we'll first come in here. We're in campaign mode right now. We're about to play our first level. So this is where you start your journey as a DJ. This is called debut. It's the first stage in the game. So imagine that it's the weekend and you've gone to a house party at your friend's place and the DJ is called in sick and no one's around to play the music. So the party organizer has gone to you and said, it's your turn to shine. So we're going to go in here. We're going to play some house music. So there's 3 basic interactions that you have in the game. And these 3 interactions are drawing from different kinds of genres. One is from strategy, one is from action, and one is also from a musical kind of standpoint, in a rhythm kind of sense. But the main thing you'll be doing in this game is making music, and making music following what we call the 6 rules of music making. So in this interface we're looking at right now, we've got 8 little circles all scattered around the main interface. And each one of these represents an instrument. And each instrument has 4 different blocks which you can play, which are musical loops. So for example, let's see here. The one at the top is a drum. This is the kick drum. So we hold the analog stick to pop out the interface, and then we've got 4 loops mapped to the A, B, X, Y buttons. So I'm just going to start one off by pushing one of those. And a kick drum starts. When this little circle is blue and pulsing, that means something is playing. If it's gray, that means there's no sound coming out of it. Now on top of this drum, I want to add a bass. I'm going to come over here and push one of these. And now I have a drum and bass loop going together. So the way Hexagroove works is it works like DJ software. And that's the beginning of the playback is synchronized. So this part of the game, you don't have to worry about rhythm. You don't have to be worried that the music's going to sound bad. It will always synchronize itself on a musical bar. But which musical bar you launch on is going to be important for the scoring of the game. So like I said, I have up to 8 instruments. I can turn off the playing instruments by tapping the same button again. And I can switch to a different instrument by using a different one of the A, B, X, Y buttons. Now, when you change these, when you turn them off and on, that's the part that comes into the scoring. So let's go into the game and look at that. So when you get into the game, you start off with a drum loop going in this case. You got the kick drum going, and you're at the club, and you got the background, and the fans are sitting listening. So the first thing you want to do is you want to start a loop when this light on the outside of the UI is flashing green. You see it's blue right now, and now it's green. And that is the fourth musical bar. So when you launch something, when you queue something up for launching in the fourth musical bar, then it's going to start on the 1. And if you do that for all of your loops, then they're going to fit together really well. Now, when do you want to change something? When you want to change something is when these blue circles become green hexagons. You saw I just changed one because it had become a green hexagon. So now that I've reached a checkpoint, and I'll explain more about that in a minute, I'm ready to add some loops for the next section of the song. So I pick one from the bottom and hit the R button to start. And I work my way into a drum roll minigame, which is a crossover from one section of the song to the second. So that one loop that I queued up, the melodic one at the bottom, that was triggered automatically when I finished the minigame. So that's kind of like a change in a verse of the song, if you were hearing it played. And then I added in the other ones. And I'm adding these loops on that upper left-hand quadrant, on that fourth. And I'm going to change these. These are hexagons. Changing from the top one to the one on the 3 o'clock. And you notice when I turn on these musical loops, this purple energy is streaming towards the center of the screen. And there in that center is that ball. That's called the euphoria meter. So when you're playing the music well, it's getting the crowd excited. And that excitement is what drives you forward in the game. If you think about Hexagroove as like being like Outrun, like a driving game, that would be the progress. And in this crossover, now I'm in a different kind of minigame. This is an audio effect. In this game, what you're doing is you're taking the analog stick and you're tracing the path out. And when you trace out the path well, what it does is it plays. In this case, we have a filter effect, which is changing the frequency and the music of the sound. Those are different kind of audio effects DJs use when they're playing music in the club. So the euphoria now has filled up the meter once again, and we're moving into the final section of this level. So here I can choose whether I want to go to the left or go to the right. I can end my song in 2 different ways. And this time I chose to do a fade out, which means I can optionally improvise. So while I'm driving over the track, whenever I pass one of these markers, I can push one of the buttons and play different samples. And if I do those well, that will also help out my score, but it's also a way for me to express myself in terms of what kind of songs I wanted to play.
Oh, that was a good wake-up song.
So I got an A rank this time, and the way that you get a rank in this game is by following those 6 rules of music making. We see here we have freshness and flow, drama, rhythm, control, and one-shot. And these are the guidelines of how smooth flowing dance music is made. So the freshness score here is whether you change the loops when they went from blue circles to green hexagons. You saw me several times. There, the loop was playing blue for a while, then the euphoria ran out and it became a green hexagon. If you change it promptly, when it's a green hexagon, then you get a good freshness score. Flow is the ability for you to add those in 4-bar increments so the music all lines up well, both melodically in terms of the progression and also kind of builds on itself. And that was launching the changes when the green light was in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. And I'll go into the others a bit more next time we play. But these 6 rules are what we use to grade you, and you get a score between 1 and 10 points in each one. And then based on how well you did these, we take an average, and that is what gives you your score for the level. In this case, I got an A. So you get a C, B, A, or S.
S is super hard, by the way. So if you see that on the stream now, be amazed.
Well, we're only playing medium right now, so it's not that tough actually. You only have to be able to get above a 9 on average over the 6 different rules. And the 6th rule, one shot, you don't even come across until you've unlocked it later in the level. So we are have just played our first level now, and now I think we're gonna go take another genre and talk about more of the mechanics in the game. If you guys have any questions, you can drop something in the chat. We're watching chat all the time, both in YouTube and in Steam, and we can reply to your chat there. So just drop us a message if you have any questions about how the game is working, what I'm doing, how we worked on the game, who's involved, and things like that. Because I'm happy to talk about that as well.
Also, if you want to hear any genre we have, let us know. We'll play it.
That's true. We're taking requests today. This is a DJ set, so we're gonna be mindful DJs and take any requests that you have for different genres. We have 15 different genres in the game, going from the 1980s and the beginning of dance, electronic dance music, house as we just played, and coming all the way up to more modern ones. We've got IDM here, and techno, trance, electro, synthwave, new garage and chip rock. A lot of crowd pleasers here in Club Milk. Psytrance and chill out for a little break before you make your way towards the latter half of the game where things start to get really tough. Minimal techno, which is also done by a Japanese producer. Drum and bass, electro house. And then we have 2 more genres, which are not in the Steam version right now, but we're going to be launching them in a free expansion that's going to be coming out in the near future. So in total, we'll have 15 genres over 3 difficulty levels, and if you put it all together, that's 700 musical loops.
A lot of music.
It's a lot of music.
And a lot of fun.
So speaking of those loops, let's go in here. So to give a sneak peek of like the way things advance here is in the game. When you start out the game, lots of the complexity is locked. So you progressively work your way through it, and you build up more advanced skills. We have a free demo available, which you can download right now, both on Steam, Xbox, and Switch. And the demo is limited to only 2 genres and 4 instruments. We have 8 instruments in total in the game that you unlock over time. And also, over time, you unlock more loops. So I'll show you how that works. So I've got the basic techno setup. And the first time I would play the level, this is what I would have. And this has 32 loops in it that I will have to use to clear the level. Now what I can do is, since I've cleared this already, is I can duplicate it. And now I've got my own loop pack for techno. So if I go in here in edit mode now, I can try out the loops that I've got. And let's say that I want to get some variation on one of these. I can hit the R button, and now I'm in the edit mode. So what I have here is 6 loops that I can map to the 4 slots. So you have, once you've cleared level 1, you get 50% more new loops that you never heard before that you can use to make your own kits. So maybe some of them you like the sound of them better and you just want to express yourself musically that way. The other is that there are different attributes on these loops, and that's an advanced feature of the game, which I'll explain a bit later, but it comes into the strategic part, which is buffs and nerfs on the energy levels. So these are absolutely required to clear the hard difficulty of the game. But for now, let's take it from a sonic perspective. So let's see. Oh, that's cute. I like that. So if we take this one, and then we push the A button, it'll map it to the A button. So I've got that extra loop in there now. So I won't go too deep into this right now so we can get back into the game and start making some music. But you can make as many, I think up to 5 packs, 5 loop kits in each genre. and just build your favorite sounds out of this, and then use that to both play campaign, freestyle, and entourage levels, which are some of the other game modes we'll be talking about in a bit. All right, so now we're going to use this new pack with that sound we just mapped in the melodic area. So we'll start this off. So in this level 2, we have the drum going at the beginning. We're in a different club now. So in the first level, we finished the house party. We had a good rep, and now we've come in here and we're playing a real gig at a club called I-63. And oh, there's that sound we did. There we go. Yeah. So this club is a step up from what you just did. This is your first gig. This is modeled actually after a Stockholm club that we play at. It's called H62. It's actually just down the street from where we work. And I'm involved with a monthly DJ group that puts on a party there. It's called Syntax Air. We do chiptune, video game music, and things like that. And this club is modeled inspirationally after that. So,
For more club trivia, check out our Screenshot Saturdays every Saturday on Twitter.
I like that. Nice plug right there. That was a good segue. So I got lots of euphoria flowing. So I'm going to get through this section really quickly. Different instruments in Hexagroove affect the euphoria and the energy in different ways. So one example is melodic instruments, and melodic instruments actually give you lots of euphoria. So they will drive you towards the checkpoint very quickly. However, they also get old really fast, so you'll see a melodic instrument causing fatigue in the audience more quickly. You'll see it turn into a hexagon before a drum, because a drum beat will hold up very long before people start to get annoyed with it. So we've taken the principles of what works in a real song and worked them into the game logic and strategy here in Hexagroove. So you can get familiar with the concepts when you're making music. We hope you get inspired by Hexagroove and you want to make your own music beyond the scope of this game in the future. That would be fantastic. And what we're trying to do is get you subliminally set up for those kind of things. I gotta be careful when I talk because it's very hard to focus on the rhythm while I'm talking.
Good stuff.
A different part of my brain is working on that. So you see when I'm doing things following the rules, like if I'm launching stuff when the light is green, this message comes out on the left-hand side or right-hand side that says great build. That's telling me I did a good job. If I did something wrong, so like right now, for example, I changed one of the loops when it was blue. You're not supposed to do that because when the loop is blue, the audience is enjoying it. The flow is going well. They're getting a good vibe out of it. So if you change the loop when it's blue, then what happens is you get a too soon and an error message, and then you are going to take a health damage, basically. So I'll stop that, and I'll start it again fresh. Stopping a loop is okay. You won't take a health penalty for stopping a loop, but it may affect your score depending on when you stop it because of that flow rule we talked about before. Nice phaser effect here, I like this. So when you clear a minigame, you see I'm getting ranks. So you get ranks on minigames just as you do in the final part, but in a minigame you are getting that to both help your score in the level, and it's also refreshing your health. So if you get an S on a minigame, it's going to give you a big boost to your HP. So if you look in the upper left hand corner, you can see I got my health meter up there, that red bar, and that's always decreasing. And that's because we're simulating how the crowd feels about the music. So as time goes on, it's just a fact of life that the crowd is going to both become physically fatigued and intellectually fatigued in terms of what they think about the music. So your goal here is to make enough positive change by following the 6 rules of music making before the audience gets too worn out, and then it's game over. So you're always competing with the attention of the audience.
Yeah, with that new loop, we got very smooth.
Hmm? Yeah, I like it.
The one shot.
One shot. We're gonna get to it.
The hardest one to
When to use it.
perfect.
Yeah. So we talked about freshness and flow. Freshness is changing the loops when they're green hexagons and not. So you got a 9 this time because that one I intentionally I changed it too soon and got the penalty for it. Flow is adding in the loop changes when the green light on the outer edge of the UI is in the upper left-hand quadrant. Drama is how the combinations you're putting together when you change sections is working. So with drama, you want to add one of the loops that is on the bottom. A solo of a melodic loop will always give you a good drama score. Although the downside is that you would get less euphoria coming out of the gate when you change to the minigame. So if you wanted more euphoria because it was really tough, like for example, on a hard difficulty level to clear it, then you might want to add more loops, but it could potentially lower your drama score because you're overwhelming the audience with too much change into the next section. So that's a trade-off that you kind of have to make based on what difficulty level you're on and how the gameplay is going and things like that. When you're playing on easy, on the beginning of medium, you don't have to worry about running out of health if you're following the 6 rules. In that case, you can always just pick one melodic loop from the bottom, and then you will get a great drama score every time. A lot of the onboarding in this game has been removed right now because I've played this before and I've unlocked everything for you guys. But when you're playing the game for the first time, these concepts are introduced when you first step through it. You can also pull up this help menu with the L button anytime you're here in the results screen, and this is where you can learn about details about flow is adding in the green lights upper left hand corner, freshness, etc., and things like that. So you can get information whenever you're like, why did I get a 7 in drama this time or something like that. You can pull up this menu and check the rules so you can do a better job next time. So that was drama, and rhythm is obviously how well you play the rhythm mini games. So that's a tapping. When you're playing the tapping mini games that go in between those sections, you hit all those markers, you're going to get a 10. If you're off on a couple of them, it's going to be lower than that. Control is the how well you do the steering mini games, the audio effect ones. So I had that kind of ship in space when I'm following the path. If you're on the path all the time, you get a 10 there, no problem. And then the audio effects will play smoothly and you won't have any dropouts of sound and stuff like that. And we will talk about one shot next time. So let's see here. We've done techno in the second club. We've done house in the first club. Well, I'm going to move on to the third club now and see what things are like in the hangar. We have trance, which is very heavily inspired by one of my favorite periods in electronic music. Late 90s, early 2000s trance by giants such as Ferry Corsten, Paul Oakenfold, Tiesto, things like that. And we also have electro, which is done by a very talented artist called Lego Welt from the Netherlands, doing his kind of stuff. What did you want to hear this morning? Which of these two is tickling
like
your fancy?
Electro Morning, actually.
Electro Morning?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Also like Lego Welt a lot, so can never go wrong.
All right, let's dive right into electro then.
I like the start.
Yeah, it's a very catchy bass line.
Yeah.
So you notice on the lower, upper right-hand side of the screen, there's other messages that sometimes come out. So there's one here that says A, quick fingers. And what is that? So part of Hexagroove, as I mentioned, it's a mashup of many different kinds of genres. And this is the part where Hexagroove starts to feel like a skateboarding game. So if you've played Top Skater or Tony Hawk or something like that, there is improvisation in Hexagroove in terms of not just what instruments you play, but how you play them. And so we have these 9 DJ tricks which show up. And at the beginning you don't have any, but as you go through the full version of the game, you can unlock them progressively. And these DJ tricks give you points, which is the ultimate way to play Hexagroove in terms of the 3 levels of scoring and mastery. They're called style points.
Nice.
So these DJ tricks are a way that you control the interface in a fashion such that you're emphasizing a certain part of the music at a certain time. So right now I got another quick fingers. So when you have 2 loops that you can trigger within 1 musical bar, that's quick fingers. So you have 4 beats inside of every bar where it's flashing. So this light on the outside is flashing. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I go quickly now and get both of these, then I can get the quick fingers trick. 2 things at once is a nice little powerful combo that you can, mini combo that you can do when things are moving around. More than that, and the game starts to get, the music changes too quickly and you'll get a penalty. So you don't want to look for more than 2. If you try for 3 or more, you'll probably lose some health as a result. But if you can pull that off, after you've unlocked it, you get the quick fingers trick, and then that is giving you some style points. I think it's like 80 or 90 style points every time you do it. So you add up these tricks, try to perform as many as you can through the course of the level, and then that will maximize the style point score that you get on the level. And then we take the maximum style points score that you've got on all the levels, add them together, and then that's what gives you your DJ title. And we'll go take a look at that after this level. So like I said, there's 9 tricks. One of them is about adding the kick drum when you come back from a transition. So you start with the melody, and then after, right when the ball drops on the first beat, then you have the ability to add the kick drum. And that's what will give you the quick fingers trick. There's others that involve emphasizing the melody or emphasizing the beat for 1 or 2 bars and then putting things back in. But this is a way for you to express yourself by doing these kind of tricks, which DJs actually do when they're playing music in the club to get everyone really excited. You can hear the crowd has been cheering. They're having fun about this. I've been ignoring this lightning bolt over here for a while. This is the final instrument of Hexagroove. This is the one shot. So this one is not a loop. It will not play endlessly and keep going. It just happens once. And different from the others, this one, the timing does matter. So you kind of have to listen to the beat, and you want to trigger it on the beat. If you don't trigger it on the beat, then the audience is going to be irritated with it quickly. If you spam it too, that would piss people off because it's really obnoxious. So it's using it a fair amount is key with one shot. We'll see how I did one shot this time. So this time, instead of fade out, I'm doing a bang. This is the one of 2 options you have at the end. And this one, all of these tapping markers are required, so you have to push the X button every time you drive over one of them. And this is a good way to save your rhythm score, for example. Like if you had a hard time with your rhythm score on the mini games in the main part, you could try to redeem that here because it's adding up to give you a better rhythm score. But of course, it's a risk-reward type thing. Excuse me. Because if you get off the beat there, you could take a lot of damage. You could lose the entire song. So if you're feeling like your rhythm chops are together for that, then you could go in there and try that out and save yourself by doing the bang. There's also some achievements related to when you're doing bang versus fade and things like that. So this time, I did fairly well. I got 10s in most of the categories, and one shot, I got a 9. That's because I used it. So to get one shot high level with that, you have to use it at least once, and you have to use it on the beat. So this is another point where your rhythm is important. If you play one shot sloppily, like off the beat, then you're gonna get a low one shot score. If you play it well, then you can get a good score on it. There's also some DJ tricks related to using one shot, like a 1 2 3 or 1 2 3 4 kind of sequence in succession. But again, these are all things you unlock over time in the game. When you start out, you only have the first 5 rules to worry about. And I'm just showing you the full feature set that exists in the full version, which is actually on sale now. Both in our launch sale for Steam, and if you're a Switch player, we're 25% off this week as well, so you can definitely check that out, take advantage of that big sale. I got the S rank. I got the 10s, I got the 9s, and I got 995 style points, which is not so bad.
Pretty good.
So those style points are built from the tricks, as I mentioned. So you saw I got lots of quick finger tricks. That's an A rank trick. I got a kickoff, which is a C rank trick. Very easy to get, not as many points. And we got points for all of those, and we've added them up. And now that's the score I got for this now. So I don't know if that's my highest ever. We can go back and check it out. So if we go back to the main menu here, go to my Hexagroove, and we can check out our stats. So here is the stats that tell you roughly, what your favorite instruments are. We keep track of what ranks you've got and how long it takes you to level, etc., things like that. And you can see your DJ title. So right now I'm Sir Mix a Little Bit, which is not bad. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek. I think I could do a lot better as a DJ, so I'm looking forward to getting that.
You do have the potential for it. I believe in you.
Yeah. So you see I have 7,690 style points out of 10,000. So what that means is when I hit 10,000 style points, I'll get my next DJ title. So right now I got 995 in electro. I don't know if that was my best. We can check that out. We go over here to the records tab. And yes, that was my best. So you can see on medium now, that was a new best for me to get 995 on electro. So that adds up to my collective total style points. I got lots of zeros in here because I've been playing, just trying stuff out in demo mode. If you get high style points in all of these, and you move up and up and up, all the way up to Hexamaster Supreme, which is the ultimate DJ title in Hexagroove. Like I said, there's 3 difficulty levels. Hard gets to be very hard. You need to play it in a different kind of way that you've played before. Even towards the end of medium, sometimes around the farther levels, you need to start making trade-offs, occasionally breaking the rules of music making in the interest of clearing the stage, because your health will decrease so fast. So that's where the strategic part comes in, and we can talk about that a bit more in a little bit. So we also have 30 achievements in this game. So if you're an achievement hunter, you can check those out. We've got achievements for all kinds of wacky things in here. There's lots of tongue-in-cheek references, depending on your age, which you may or may not get. Some of them are very easy, like playing in a freestyle club or making a custom kit, which you can just do through the menu and then try out. And then some are about playing together with other people, because we do have 4-player local co-op supported in the full version. And then some are very, very challenging, related to mastery of the tricks and scoring. So let's see here. One thing I noticed is we've had the rhythm ball off, and that's not something that happens often. That's just, I think I turned that off to demonstrate something to someone else. I'll put that back on so I can explain that. And while we're here, why don't we do a little bit of co-op, so we can see what a multiplayer game is like. So we'll start out in Entourage mode. This is something which is limited to the full version of the game. And what you can do is you can have up to 4 people play together.
Oh, might just have my controller.
Yeah, controller went off. But I've been playing too much. I've been hogging the game. Yeah.
There we go.
No. Switch mapping.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Okay. So you can have up to 4 people playing this game. And 2 of the players can play as DJs. So that's what you've seen me doing through the first half of the stream. Is you're controlling the music, you're working the crowd, you're the one that's responsible for whether you clear the game or not. And the first DJ, which is the primary DJ we can see here with the star, is the one that does the mini games. The second thing that you can do is you can be a super fan. And what super fans can do is they support the DJ in a number of ways, and they get to express themselves musically, but the level of responsibility is lower than a DJ. So this is a great role if maybe one of your friends is a little bit nervous, or they're not so fond of rhythm games, or they're just getting ready to dive into it, or maybe they're a newer player to gaming or something like that. So I'll be the DJ this time, and I'll have Alex here will join me as a super fan, and then we can show you what we do. So let's see here. Working our way through the clubs. Why don't we do something in Milk, which is the next club. Milk is inspired by a famous British event called Cream, which we're big fans of, and has been a bellwether for trance and house music for a long time. Which genre are you feeling? What do you want to try out?
I haven't heard New Garage for a while.
New Garage?
Yeah.
Sure, let's go with that then.
We have to try Synthwave later on. Though,
Of course, that's a crowd pleaser. We should go with that.
always works.
So New Garage is made by a Japanese artist called Dede Mouse, who does some really cool things, putting together this kind of mashup of how garage music and some Vocaloid stuff, and we'll get to in a minute. It's really cool. So a couple things have changed here in the game that you probably notice. One is that there's this ball jumping around in the crowd, and I'm the one that's controlling that, and that is the rhythm ball. And I should have had this on from the beginning because it's pretty much a core part of the experience, though you can turn it off.
Tough one.
Yeah, we're moving farther into the levels in the game. It's starting to get more complex. So when you have all of the musical loops running, then what happens is there's no more moves you can make. Because like I said before, like everything is blue, so you can't change it. You'll get a penalty if you did. So in these situations, this beach ball comes flying out, and you get to juggle it around by working on the backbeat. I don't recommend looking at it. I think listening to the music is a much better way to deal with it. So just listen to the backbeat, and on the 2 and on the 4 is when you want to apply it. And it'll count up. We'll see how many you can get. And there's some achievements and other bragging rights associated with the number of continuous juggles that you can do with the rhythm ball before dropping it. So whenever a new move appears on the board, when something becomes a green hexagon and you're required to interact with the game, then it will automatically disappear. So that's good, because we've seen people become way too entranced with juggling the ball. And without that, they would forget that they're supposed to be driving and moving the music forward for the crowd and run out of health. But that's not co-op. That is what you get out of just normal gameplay, and that exists in all of the campaign stages. What's different here in co-op or entourage mode is that our Alex here is supporting me, and he is in control of several things. One is he can launch visual effects. We call it the VFX cannon. You can see there's these 3 suns in the lower left-hand corner. So when I play well, I give him more suns, and when he has suns, he can launch them. And if he launches them on the beat certain times, then he can also give me tricks. Yeah, there's a smoking trick. So then I get more style points that way. Another thing that happens that we'll do, yeah, it popped up for a second there. We'll show it next. Might not be a problem.
Thank you, Dave.
So something else he can do is he can push the ABXY buttons and play it like a soundboard. So he's got control over like some claps and percussive sounds and things like that. So he can help me find my rhythm by playing that along. Oh, there it is. So if I start losing too much health, he can give me a saving throw, like a health. Wow, that was really good. Good job. So you can see that bar popped up from the top, and then by running the analog stick around, he can recharge my health there. So super fans can really be a direct assistance if you wanted to go after a really hard difficulty level. Let someone else on your couch support you and cheer for your DJing skills and help you clear the level.
Yeah, so if you order a copy of Hexagroove now, you also get Alex with your copy.
That's right. Alex will show up at your house. He'll be your personal super fan.
Yeah. I'll be there for you.
Well, thanks to you, I could have a great finish. I owe it all to my super fans.
True. True.
There's also a lot of inside jokes and backstory behind a lot of the the graphic and UI choices that we have in the game. If you are a fan of that kind of trivia, where we trickle that kind of information out on our Twitter, you're welcome to follow us. You can see us at Hexagroove, and I think our camera actually turned off. So that's fine. I will take a pause. That's fine. And you can keep everything running. I will look at the camera for a sec.
Yeah. I'll hand out some sweet music while we fix the cameras. Don't you worry. We're still here.
Can we change the cameras easily in real time? Switch over to the map.
Yeah, as long as we.
One sec, guys.
There we go. All right.
All right.
Squeeze in a little bit tighter. I'm gonna be. Well, you were the main. You were the DJ, right?
Yeah. Sorry about that. So we were using a new webcam, but it's a SLR and the battery ran out, so should have charged that in advance. But we're back, much cozier than before. Probably breaking some kind of social distancing rules right now.
True. We should be careful.
Yeah. A little bit darker too. Let's see here. It's a little bit brighter. So like I said, with co-op, what you can do is you can have people join in. Your super fan, someone on the couch, and maybe they're someone who's not used to rhythm games or a bit younger player, and they can play along, make music with you. The other way that people can participate is you can both be DJs. So why don't we show them how that works?
Yeah.
Doing the synthwave. So synthwave is a genre which is made by a Stockholm producer called Runners Club 95. Normally he makes vaporwave, and he's a very, very talented guy. And I think you're gonna like this.
I think went with Superfan and DJ.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. We gotta back out. Change rules. Come on up. Come on up. Get behind the VIP curtain.
It's a good way of showcasing how easy it is to change settings.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, this is the level everyone wants to play, so.
So you see we got two DJs in the back here, standing behind the booth. And if you play two DJs, like we're doing right now, you can get the Path Funk. Is it Path Funk? No, Path Dunk. Just Path Funk. The Path Dunk achievement for using two DJs. And if you don't have two people at home right now, that's fine. As long as you have two controllers, you can probably set it up.
You can do it by yourself.
Do it by yourself. And then you can argue with yourself about which instruments you want to play. So the way that it works in co-op is that we both have control over the same interface. So we have to be careful not to step on each other's toes. I have the chevron, and he has the triangle. So I can see what I'm pointing at, what he's pointing at. And both of us can juggle the rhythm ball. But we could also potentially cancel out each other's decisions, like we almost did a second ago.
Yeah.
So like if I'm about to turn on a drum loop, he can turn it off, because during the period where it's syncing, you can cancel it out in case you made a mistake or something like that. We could also kind of inadvertently paint ourselves into the corner with having too much going on at once, because the rules of music, there you go, still apply. So you can see here, we don't have any euphoria running right now because we just got a slowdown message. And what that means is we added too much change to the song. So we're in a state now where we're losing health. We have no euphoria going. This is not a great place to be in. So you really got to be careful not to overwhelm the audience with too much change in music at one time. Oh, the sax.
Can't get out of that.
So the saxophone was recorded apparently by like the greatest street sax player in all of Stockholm or something like that. Like we were talking to the guy, he was quite pleased with the level of sax quality which he put together. See, we're not communicating very well, obviously, because we're like canceling stuff out for each other. I'm a little concerned now for our health, and we don't have any super fans to bail us out.
True.
We need to crowdsource this. You guys are going to have to come and roll the sticks for us. I'm sorry, it's quite apparent that I'm too type A to be playing this game with somebody else.
No, I play Monday morning, if anything.
That's true, just quite early.
I'll handle the rhythm ball, you handle the music.
Okay.
That can
So
be
you're just like some kind of flunky at that point. That doesn't feel right. I mean, you're just like hanging on. You're like the.
You know what? I'll take the kick drum as well. Kick drum and rhythm bar.
Yeah.
Maybe even one shot. But yeah, you have to pay attention whatever the other DJ is doing.
Yeah, either through vocal. I mean, obviously, vocal communication is a good way to do it. But as we've shown, when you're in the rhythm section or something, it's really not easy to talk to people actually, which is probably why you know, they have what's that term called, tractor face. You ever heard that?
No.
About like DJs using the tractor DJ software, like when DJs that are analog, you know, they're using the records and stuff, and they're getting into it, and that's fine. But like, you always see people like a scrunched up look on their face when they're looking at the UI on their laptop. Part of the additional negative feedback regarding digital DJs. Tractor face, yeah.
Yeah, I know a few friends that use the tractor, so.
You watch them next time they play and see if they got tractor face.
I know they do actually, they do. That's was a thing though. In the drum roll minigame, is it possible for me playing one side and take the other side?
No. Right now the way the minigame works is that just the main DJ does the drum.
Probably really hard.
Yeah, we were thinking about it, and like we were like, how do you know like what you can do, and like what if I'm off the rhythm and you're on the rhythm, and we thought maybe we could swap out. So like I do the first drum one, you do the second, and then we need a new UI for it. But the thing is, the game moves so quickly.
Yeah.
And those transitions in the mini games, you don't have more than like a couple beats before you need to start. So we decided, in the interest of not like randomizing people and freaking them out with too much information, we just bound it to the first player that does that.
Probably wise move. I mean, it gets tricky by itself and or by your own. And having another one to try and synchronize with.
I love this genre.
It always works. Like, so good.
Nice. Great finish. Good job.
Yeah, you too.
Tip this a little bit so I get you a bit.
You can see me now. Ooh. Runners Club 95.
Yeah. Check those guys out. They're on Twitter too. They're really good. Their vaporwave stuff is pretty dope. All right, let's see my here. Mention again that today we're doing a demo of our new game, Hexagroove Untitled DJ, which is just launched on Steam last week. If you're just joining us, we've been going through some really advanced topics here, but this stream will be saved on our YouTube, so you can get back to it and look at it later to see where we started off and began walking you through the basic stuff. But basically what this is a 4-player cooperative tactical DJ game where you can do action stuff and strategy stuff and rhythm-based things. And just brings together all the best parts of like a skateboarding game and of a tactical RTS and of a rhythm game to allow you to make music. Everything that you've been hearing in this game, in the stream, is made entirely by us. All of the music that shows up is entirely user-driven, so you have a chance to really express yourself creatively with the options that we have. We have free demos on all 3 platforms, of course on Steam, as well as on Switch and Xbox. And on top of that, we're on sale right now. We have an introductory sale on Steam that you can take advantage of that runs through Wednesday. Or no, actually today's the last day for the Steam one, I think, right? Because Steam introductory sales are only 1 week. So since we launched last Tuesday, today would be the last day of that. The Switch version, we have a bit more leeway with, and that will be on sale through Wednesday at 25% off. So please take advantage of that and check it out and grab Hexagroove now. If you have any questions, you can put them into the chat and we can respond to them. You can also reach us on Twitter, which is where we are most active, at Hexagroove, as it says in the lower right-hand corner. And you can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, things like that. In particular, this stream will be on our YouTube saved afterwards, so you can check it out and see how we explain the game to you in depth and show you all of the variety. This game has been out for 1 year. We came out on Nintendo Switch in October 2019. Just celebrated our 1 year anniversary. We're very happy about that. We're also very happy to have received a lot of attention. We just got out of Indiecade last month. Yeah, now it's November now. We were nominated for the Spotlight in Audio and Jury Grand Prix Awards. We've won the Best Game Audio Award from the Baltic Sea Games. And we were also at Bit Summit Gaiden as part of their curated selection this year at their online event, which normally happens in Kyoto. And very, very happy with all of the support we've received, both from the press and the awards community, and also you guys, the fans, who have been very warm and telling us about how much you've enjoyed Hexagroove and looking forward to it and the expansions that we've built. We've actually built 3 free new expansions over the course of the year that have been added. This has increased the number of levels that we have by 50%, doubling the number of artists that we have in the title. And one of those, the Sakura Spring expansion, is available now on Steam, and the next European Festival will be coming up soon. Currently it's limited to Xbox, but we're looking to bring it to Switch and Steam as soon as possible. So let's see here. We've done campaign. We've done entourage.
Freestyle.
Yeah, let's do some freestyle. That sounds good.
Some harder stuff.
Let's do freestyle. It's the hard level. Yeah, so in freestyle mode, what you can do is you can use it for different things. One is to practice. So if there's a certain level that you're having trouble with, you can go at it in freestyle first and practice it without worrying about losing before you challenge clearing it on campaign. If you want to focus on just the drum mini games, the rhythm parts, or the steering, the audio effect parts, you can do that in freestyle. You can also make music endlessly, exactly the way you want, which is the thing that I love about it the most.
I'll handle DJ now.
Okay, you're gonna be DJ?
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't you be the primary DJ then? So you are in complete control. I will sit back and I will leech off of you. So with freestyle mode, what you can do is you can pick any of the clubs that you want to be in to play any genre that you want. So we haven't been in the forest yet, so why don't we go to the forest? Niko Kazoku. So now what we have is we have access to all of the levels we've cleared. As I mentioned, there's 13 genres in the Steam version right now. There's 15 in the Xbox. So you can pick one that you want. I know Alex is a big fan of psytrance.
Yeah, and it fits the stage so well.
So we're gonna do that. So let's tweak it a bit. Let's go in here and let's see here. Maybe change one of these. Oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
We'll put that in there. And then here. That's interesting. Let's try that.
I like both of them.
Let's do both.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we've got some custom loops now. We've modified the instruments we have on the, this is the chord instrument in the lead one. And then we will use those and start off. In Psytrance, what you can do is you have access to all the instruments at once. So if you've unlocked all 8, at that point in the game, you have access to all 8. There is no gating. Normally in campaign mode, the way that it works is we set you up with different sections, and we've limited the number of instruments in each one to kind of give you a feel for how the energy level of a song changes over time, to help you understand like the way an intro works, and then a build, and a chorus, and a breakdown, and things like that. And the challenge there is in the level design, and that the instrument usage is tailored to the way the genre shines. But in freestyle, none of that is holding you back. So what you can do is have all the instruments at once, use them as long as you like. So you notice the euphoria meter is full already, but we're not moving on to the Q mode because it's up to you to decide when you want to change. You could just sit here and noodle around endlessly, practicing with the music, juggling the ball, working on your tricks usage, And when you are ready for it, you push the SR button, as Alex just did, and now we're in cue mode, and he has control over which instruments he wants to have. And now, instead of a predetermined drum roll or audio filter, he can do whatever he wants. He can choose whether drum roll, he can choose to do an audio effect. So if you were playing music on your own and just wanted to do something melodically or rhythmically right now, you have control over that. And you can play this, for minutes and minutes, hours, as long as you want.
But remember, with great power comes great responsibility, so
That's
handle
right.
your DJing careful.
That's right. DJ responsibly, please.
Mm-hmm. Do not like psychos, I don't understand. It's amazing.
It's a very polarizing genre.
Yeah.
Some people are big fans, some people not so much. But this was made by a very prominent artist named Cylon from Japan. And he has been making music for many years. And he actually started out, I think, as a metal guitarist. But he plays a lot at parties, which I DJ also at, one of which is like the Sunshine Festival in Japan, which is this party is modeled after. These beautiful decorations that you see in here are very reminiscent of that party in Japan, with a group of decorators which I believe come from South Africa, travel the world doing rave decorations and things like this.
Also, even if you don't know anything about DJing or EDM, you name it, this is the perfect way to get into it.
Yeah, if you're not sure which instruments are used or what the instruments sound like and stuff, you have access to all of them here. You can try them out one by one. You notice the grading messages are coming in if you're doing something too soon or too late, but it's not affecting your health, obviously, because there is no health gauge, as you can see upper left-hand corner.
Yeah.
So in this, you could practice and see what kind of score you would get if you're trying to take it that way, but you don't have to play it that way if you don't want to.
Great stage. Let's finish this off with a bang.
So another thing you can do with freestyle mode, what you can do all the time, is that you have the ability in the options menu to turn off the crowd sound effects, as well as the game sound effects, and the rhythm ball. And by doing so, you don't get any of the bells and whistles and bings and things like that. And the music that comes out of the game is 100% nothing but the loops that you're triggering in the gameplay. So if you wanted to do that to make music, or you wanted to stream something on your own, like a freestyle session on Twitch or YouTube, power to you. That would be fantastic, and you could just make music as long as you like, with nothing impeding that artistic expression. Good work. Nice. So if this had been a real level, he would have gotten a B, and here you can see that, okay, the rhythm was a 7 out of 10, so maybe he needs to work on that. If he's trying to get an achievement specifically where he gets 10s and everything. As we showed you in the Q mode, which you can launch at any time, you can go back in there and choose drum roll every time, and just work, and it will cycle through all of the tapping tracks, all the rhythm sections, and you could work on your timing there until it's is top notch. So let's go back here for a second. We've talked about most of the features of the game. Freestyle mode also supports up to 4 players, so you could have 2 DJs, 2 super fans in here, and then make music together, everyone on the couch, endlessly as you like. This is a controller-based game, but any controller will work. You can have an old grain pad or even like a Switch Pro controller, Xboxes, things like that. And get everyone together on the couch and enjoy that music together. As I mentioned, there's 3 difficulty levels. There are 30 achievements that are tied to the game that you can get over the course. And that's currently in the Steam and Xbox versions have those. They're called badges inside of the game. We have the manual here, which in lieu of like a printed manual, if we had a printed manual, we would like to have sent that, but since we're digital only release, we have all the information about how to play the game in here. talking about the grading, walking you through how to get each one of the 9 tricks in the game. There is an achievement tied to being able to have done all of those tricks at least once. So you could come in here for reference and track your achievement that way. And then also talking about mastery of the game. We talked about edit mode, and then using loop attributes, which is one of the more advanced topics. And I will show you that now as we're getting close to the end of the stream. Yeah. So let's see here. Maybe do something on hard.
Really going out with a bang.
Exactly. If you guys have any feedback, we're always happy to hear it. You can open a discussion on our Steam thread, a community hub on our Steam page. We're happy to respond to you there. You can reach us on Twitter, on Facebook and Instagram, or check out our website, ichigoichie.org. And there you'll find information about the game and videos and things like that. We are a very small studio. We are a 2-man studio, and we work with some very talented interns from the gaming schools in the Stockholm area that have helped build this title. And we've been very fortunate to have the opportunity to work on this game for now almost 2 years, updating it and supporting it. And we're looking forward to seeing what you guys do with it on Steam. It's not it's on PC, it's even easier than before to stream and to share the game with others. So let's do 2 more levels before we call it a day. What do you think?
Drum and bass.
Drum and bass.
Yeah.
I should say that. Okay.
I picked the hardest ones.
Oh, I don't know if I can clear this, to be honest.
You picked hard difficulty as well, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, if you aren't awake now, you'll be after this.
This is 160. Okay, if I get a little more quiet than usual, you'll understand why.
I'll handle the talking for now. You focus on the DJ. So as you can see, the pace is just way faster, and it's also hard. So it's going to be tough for Dave to actually focus on the chat or on talking. Makes for a great level though, and really challenging.
This level is called the Power Plant, and it's based on a famous club in Berlin called Berghain, which is also a power plant, hence the name, which has a notoriously hard entry policy. So you see on my loop right now, I triggered the one with the star. You can see it there at the bottom. And that's the fan favorite loop attribute. So what happens is that's going to give me more euphoria, but it's also going to wear out my health. My health is getting really low. But generally what you try to do in these situations is just power through the stages with these loops that give you more boost to the euphoria to get you to the checkpoint before you run out of health. That's my strategy anyway. Another way you can do it is you could use some of the calming ones. There's a battery called Energy Saver, and there's a Hypnotize. And what those do is they slow down the audience's fatigue, but they also reduce the euphoria. There's certain achievements that we have that are tied to, some of them are clearing a level in more than 7 minutes, or more than 10 minutes in freestyle, and if you're trying to do that, then those are things you can take advantage of. Oh dear.
Yeah, no, that's tough.
Oh, okay. You know what? I think in the interest of just showing you the game is not a cakewalk, we'll stop it right there. And I don't have to impress you by clearing that right now. But what I will do is we will play the Electro House. Yeah. This one is very, very tough to clear. Not so much for the rhythm parts, but the energy level drops so fast here, so I really have to pay attention on maximizing my euphoria by using certain loops.
So this is kind of what we talked about earlier as well. Like, so you have your DJ tricks and you have like certain ways to maximize those, but to actually beat it on like pure like game perspective now, you'll have to avoid maybe using or like try doing different things to just maximize the amount of euphoria that you get, so you beat the level. But like musically speaking, it might not make for the best song, but it's how you beat the level now, just because it's so tough.
Yeah, it's all about trade-offs.
Yeah.
And in hard mode especially, there's lots of times where you're gonna have to break the rules. Like I said before earlier in the stream, melodic instruments always give you more euphoria than percussive ones. So another pro tip is to start those earlier, so you have like 4 more bars running of the melodic ones to give you the euphoria. You see how quickly my health is like just petering off.
But yeah, this is really where the tackle part of Hexagroove Untitled DJ comes in. You need to think about what you're doing and actually plan ahead as best as you can to beat the hard levels.
I love that octave bass.
And also, while you're playing this game, you'll just constantly feel the rhythm, feel the groove, basically. So, yeah. Even on harder difficulties, where you can't stop focusing.
You're doing lots of shifting of my eyes up left-hand corner to keep an eye on the speed at which that health meter is disappearing.
That was good.
Yeah, I'm mostly worried about the health in this level.
Yeah, the last one. So.
Oh, cowbell. We have an achievement called More Cowbell if you launch that more than 15 times in a row. Also, because we're on the minigame, on hard now, it's imperative that I get S's on these minigames to refill my health as much as possible. When you're on hard, actually the amount of refill you get is lowered too. So it's even more challenging.
Yeah, you need to step up your game for the harder difficulty, for sure. Kind of nice with those like shorter intervals where you just like kind of breeze through it a bit.
So I'm gonna pick some attributes here that have either yin yang or the fire.
Those two attributes both give more euphoria.
That's right, and it's gonna give you euphoria right out of the gate because I've queued them now at the beginning. So that's an extra couple bars. And to be honest, right now I triggered the kick drum, but the drum gives almost no euphoria at all. So even though it gave me a trick, it probably would have been better if I went with the bass.
Once again, style and good music may not mean that you will beat the level. So, well, it always sounds amazing. You don't have to worry about that. How are scared to look at?
Now, historically, when I lose on this level, it's always on the last section.
Yeah.
So I need to be very aggressive in this section.
Oh, so close. So yeah, creator of the game, still hard.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
oof.
Yeah. Almost had it. Almost had
Oh,
it. But
so
the health.
close.
Yeah. But that's why it's the last level of the game and the last section of the last level of the game.
Yeah, and if you think you're done when you beat that, wait for expansion.
That's true. When the expansion comes, there's liquid drum and bass, which is takes it even higher, both in terms of BPM and in energy levels and things like that. So I think that's about it for today. We've covered all the different game modes. We've showed you some of the DJ tricks. We've showed you the multiplayer, the freestyle, a fair amount of the genres that we have in the title. As I mentioned, there's 13 genres right now on Steam. There's a new expansion coming out in a couple months that we're really happy to bring with you. And 3 difficult levels, as you can see in the hard, is quite challenging. When you really have to start using the strategic part of embracing the buffs and nerfs and breaking the 6 rules of music making, which we use to grade you in the game. We're happy to have you try out the demo. There's a free demo on all 3 platforms for Switch, Xbox, and Steam. And if you have any questions about the game, you can find us online on our social media. And this stream will be up on our YouTube afterwards. So if you want to walk through the game with us again, if you missed the beginning of the stream, check it out there. Thank you so much for your support. And we're looking forward to seeing what kind of music you make with Hexagroove.
Thank you all for joining.
Cheers.